morning. I am Madam Alicianti, and today I would like to share some tips on CEFR readiness, the speaking component 800/2. Now this is actually being prepared by Madam Nur Hidayatul Aini binti Zainal Abidin, and I am going to present it. Now before we go further, let me just briefly tell about the examination requirements. It is only 15% of the whole weighting, and the duration for the test is only 30 minutes. Now this test is being divided into two tasks, that is task A and task B. What is task A? Task A is individual presentation, whereby candidates are given the question and 2 minutes to prepare and then 2 minutes to present. And what is task B? That is group interaction or group discussion, whereby you'll be given another 2 minutes to prepare and 10 minutes to discuss with your teammates. Now, the skills tested, I'll explain further. Right, let's go to the evaluation criteria. You will be evaluated on 3 important things, that is task fulfillment, language, and communicative ability. What's under task fulfillment? Well, of course, before you present, you have to understand the topic that is given to you and show maturity when you are discussing or presenting the topic. And of course, you have to develop ideas successfully and present your viewpoints clearly. As for language, you'll have to convey meaning very clearly so that examiners can understand. Use appropriate and varied vocabulary. Of course, you have to link your ideas effectively and speak using accurate grammar. And as for your communicative ability, speak fluently, pronounce words accurately, use correct stresses and intonation where necessary, project confidence during your delivery, interacts well, this is for task B, and is able to maintain a discussion and shows initiative and interest to your teammates when you are doing your discussion. As for the seating arrangements, you will be in a group of 4, whereby you will be named as candidate A, candidate B, candidate C, and candidate D. Now, if you look at the slide, okay, it is shown there where you are supposed to sit. And if you notice, there will be examiner Q, that is actually your chief examiner, and the other one is being called examiner R, that is the second examiner. Now, when you are sitting, of course, there will be signages on the table to show where you are supposed to sit. Alright, teachers, now some useful and very important tips. This is what we Muet teachers normally share with our students as well. It is actually quite convenient if you can fold the paper, not your question paper, your paper that is given for you to scribble your notes. Fold the paper into 4 sections and divide the sections into A, B, C, and D. Now, once you have folded the paper and label the section accordingly, prepare your response for task A according to the section. So if you are candidate A, just write under the candidate A section. Now, remember to just write an outline of the points that you want to discuss in your presentation. Outline, teachers, not long-winded sentences, because you are supposed to speak. You are not supposed to read from your paper. So you just write outline, and then you are expected to elaborate further spontaneously based on the points that you have written. Now, as I mentioned earlier, points, just write and scribble some short notes on your main points. And when other candidates are presenting, please listen and jot down their notes as well. Why? You might think that you want to use the extra time to further explain your notes. You may want to use their points later in your discussion in task B. So it's very, very important for you to listen attentively to other speakers and jot down their notes as well. Speak smoothly and clearly. You can have some jokes, you can put in some jokes if you want to, no problem. And try to engage yourself in the discussion actively in task B. Right? Don't keep quiet, don't wait until you are being asked to explain. So get yourself involved. Alright teachers, how do we start task A? Now, you are given 2 minutes to prepare, and when you present, of course, you have to start with greetings. As simple as, good morning everyone. Or you can go a little bit further, good morning to the examiners and all the candidates. Next, repeat the situation. Repeat the situation means look at the question and say it again before you start your presentation. You can continue with, of course, after the good morning, continue with the situation I have been given is, or according to the situation, or today we are talking about, and talk about the situation. Next, state the points that you want to present. You can start with, today I would like to give 3 reasons for my point, which is, or my point is, so to elaborate, I would like to discuss. When you explain, use linkers. Like firstly, I think that this is because, moreover, for example, full stop, and that will be the end for task for the first point. To continue, secondly, another reason is, in addition, for instance, end of point 2. Finally, in my opinion, furthermore, a good example is end of point 3. What I have given is an example if you want to give 3 points. Alright? But later I'll tell you more. Then finally, conclusion. Just start with, in conclusion, this is the best point because, or to conclude, this is the best point because, or in a nutshell, or in short, to conclude your 2 minutes presentation. Now, teachers, very often we are being asked, how many points should we present? Now, actually, 2 points are enough. 2 points, very good elaboration, enough examples will be enough in that 2 minutes. However, there are times when you feel that you have more points to talk about. Then you can give 3 points. But be careful because the more points you give, the simpler your explanation will be. And when your explanation is simple, then you will fall under the category where you are just touching and leaving. So we will call that as the touch and go kind of presentation. So not too many points, teachers. So 2, 3 should be okay. Because if you give 2, you will give enough elaboration, enough example. Alright? Now, no penalty will be given as long as you develop, as long as you speak, as long as you explain. It's okay. You will be awarded marks. And if, let's say, you cannot give a conclusion, you don't have to conclude in your presentation, or you don't have in short in your presentation, it's okay. You'll just say thank you and stop your presentation. You will not be penalized for not having the conclusion. Well, that will be task A. Now, next, for task B. Now, for task B, you can either stick to your point that is being given to you in task A, or you can choose not to agree with what has been given to you and support other candidates' points. Let's say you are candidate A, whatever that is given to you in task A, well, whether you like the points or not, you'll have to pretend that you like and explain. However, in task B, if you feel that you like candidate B's point, or C or D, you can talk about that candidate's points further. So you don't have to talk about your points anymore. Alright? So you can choose to agree or disagree by saying things like, well, I agree with your point, or I'm sorry, but I have to disagree with your point. You can have some, expressions like, that's a great idea. Brilliant. I see your point. Well, we seem to be seeing eye to eye. You can have all those kinds of expressions when you are agreeing, as well as, I'm afraid I have to disagree with you. I'm sorry, but I don't see eye to eye with you. I beg to differ. So that those are some expressions for you to disagree with your other candidates. Now, very often we feel that we will wait for other candidates to finish off their presentation in task B before we can give our opinion. But please bear in mind that this is a group interaction. So we expect candidates to be able to interrupt, to question, not just listen and wait for your turn to speak. So try to use expressions like, excuse me, candidate, may I interrupt? Or, I'm sorry, candidate, can I add something? Or you can just say, pardon me, but could I add something? And you can question. Let's say the candidate explains and you cannot understand. Just say or just ask, what do you think, candidate A? Or what do you actually mean, candidate A? Why don't we consider that point, candidate A, if you are not sure of what the candidate is saying? And I think I've come to the last slide. Finally, conclusion. This is also very important. Now, very often we feel that we must conclude, but actually it's okay if we cannot conclude. It's okay if we cannot come to an agreement. If everybody cannot agree, it's okay. It's fine. Don't panic. Alright? And in task B, as long as you present, it's okay. As long as you speak. Right? And please bear in mind that try to make sure that everybody speaks equally. Roughly about 2.5 minutes. Okay? And if everybody can agree on one point, you can have the conclusion where everybody agrees. But if you cannot agree to that one point, it's okay. Just say that we are sorry that we could not come to any conclusion. Well, I think I've covered what you need to know. And I hope that I have shared some tips to help you sit for the speaking exam. And remember, it's not only what you say, but it's how you say it. So good luck, all the best.